What's up, Summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Nathan Ng, and I'll be walking you through this week's weekly news update. There's a lot of great things that have been recently announced, including a long-awaited champion rework. Whether it's the new ruined skins, item changes, crazy reworks, or even the smallest of changes overall, here at ProGuides, we've got you covered. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned till the end so you don't miss out on any important updates now and in the future. Starting us off, let's take a look at the new SONA rework. It's been a long time, but Riot has finally released some more information regarding it, including its release date. Before this rework, SONA was seen as a fairly mediocre pick. Her lack of utility and damage when compared to other supports made it feel like she was no match for somebody like Seraphine or Lulu. Speaking of Seraphine, I just think that she's just SONA but more modern, so I think this rework is extremely appropriate. Alongside this, her high mana cost and word scalings only made her a cheese pick to be paired with Lux. However, with this rework, Riot is looking to add more power to SONA as a late game sustain utility and healer. Unlike other enchanters, she will constantly be pumping out benefits to her allies. The new changes will look to benefit her already spam-oriented kit by providing additional ability haste. Now when she uses her Q and W to heal or empower her allies, she will gain a stack of Accelerando, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This new passive will grant ability haste for her basic abilities up to a certain cap. The more people she empowers with the usage of her Q and W, the more stacks that she'll get at once. This works as a way of rewarding players for helping their allies and damaging enemies. After she reaches the max amount of ability haste from the passive, the next time that she will gain a stack, it will instead refund a little bit of her ultimate ability cooldown. Overall, the new SONA rework isn't super massive, but it'll finally add a deeper layer to SONA's kit as a late game scaling enchanter. Her playstyle will stay relatively similar, as she will now be useful in the late game and as a nice generalized enchanter. Most enchanters seem to focus on one area of supporting, and it's nice to finally give SONA the role of being good at all of them. Whether it's CC, healing, damage amp, or movement speed, the new SONA will have you covered. Plus, even the smallest of reworks means something, so we hope that this makes all of the SONA mains super happy. By the way, it's also rumored that she's going to be getting a small update to her visuals when this new content drops, but it's not confirmed. Honestly, her animations look fairly nice already, so I'm not sure what else they could improve on. Maybe it would just clean up her character model a little bit. But before we move on to new content announced on the PvE, don't forget to check us out at ProGuides.com, where you can view our great catalog of coaches, courses, and overall, a walkthrough to your dream rank. While you're there, be sure to explore around and take a look at our amazing subscription and VOD review services. Nonetheless, let's get back into the video and dive right into this new content. If you were with us last week, you'll know that there were new Sentinel skins for Diana, Aurelia, Olaf, Riven, and Vayne. With these finally hitting the live server as well as coming with their stylish chromas, there are finally more on the PvE. Introducing themselves to the skin line, we've got some sick new additions with Sentinel Graves, Pyke, and Rengar. It's interesting to see that these otherwise aggressive champions are on the side of the Sentinels. While I don't doubt that they'd still want to save the world for selfish means, it's still fairly interesting. It almost makes you wonder what other champions should be joining the Sentinel roster for the next couple of patches. Alongside this, we've got another addition to the Ruined King's army with Ruined Misfortune. While Viego's army is already fairly massive, seeing somebody like Misfortune join the skin line is super exciting because it just opens up the door for the rest of the Bilgewater to possibly get a skin. Also, for all of my Thresh players out there, you'll be receiving an Unbound variation to his base skin for free. The skin doesn't offer too much of a change in terms of his abilities, but it does make his base model look a little bit more interesting. While we're not 100% certain yet, it seems that this will most likely be given to players who complete certain quests related to the pass. Nonetheless, it's cool to see because what if Riot is trying to make more skins attainable through the pass alone like other games do? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Also, all of these new Sentinel and Ruined King skins come with multiple chromas for you to further customize your champion as well as some nice icons. These icons will offer 3 different variations: the base version, a bordered version, and an emote version. If you're not a fan of the icons or skins but want some new emotes, there are quite a few being added as well, so be sure to keep an eye out. Now, there's been a lot of talk about how Riot has made the RUINATION event a lot about making money of skins. It's been seen how some champions are completely brushed over in the lore, which is completely out of character for them. Reeve, a super popular Riot dev, responded to this criticism with quite an in-depth answer. He talks about how, of course, popular champions are necessary as they need to make money in order to push future projects. That being said, with events this massive, they're looking to have it make more sense from a lore perspective while also incorporating a balance of all champions with their varying popularity. Overall, a lot has to go into creating massive events, whether it's balancing money and lore or dealing with public opinion. Nonetheless, let's look at who we found on the PvE, the brand new champion AKSHAN. This rogue sentinel will soon be swinging his way onto the Rift. While we won't go into too much detail, he's Riot's newest mid lane focused champion. Their goal was to create a marksman that was actually meant to be played in a solo lane rather than somebody like Lucian or Tristana. His kit will not only allow him to clear waves and pick quick duels, but his amazing roam potential will have him appearing in your lane like he's cosplaying Talon. Alongside his interesting kit, he's been bringing a lot of attention due to having a vengeance ability that allows him to instantly revive all allies. You heard that correctly. He can revive his allies. Now, this is easier said than done, but if he gets a takedown within 3 seconds on his ally's killer, they will instantly be respawned at base. This will allow for quite a lot of plays later as the game goes on, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. From what Ryan has said, AKSHAN will be a mid-game champion. His damage early on is fairly high, but he doesn't really do well with items when compared to other marksmen. However, this is supposed to be heavily offset due to his roam potential and the fact that he gets an additional 100 gold for avenging an ally. Pretty much, he's been compared to a Draven made for the mid lane. While we're still a few patches away from seeing AKSHAN on the Rift, his new skin is also presented in the PvE as Cyberpop AKSHAN. Being one of the first in his new skin line, it makes us wonder what type of champions will be coming next, especially because it looks super nice and offers a balance of futuristic yet modern technologies. And don't worry, it also comes with multiple chromas if you want to spice it up. And trust me, I've been looking for ways to spice things up, so I spend money in League of Legends. Overall, we can't really say for certain where AKSHAN will find most of his play, but we're just hoping that Riot reaches their mark of creating a mid lane marksman. Who knows, we may even see him as an occasional ADC in the bot lane as well. Before we continue on with the video, do not think for a second that we have forgotten about everybody's favorite ProGuides tradition. For our question of the day, we want to know, is there a champion that you wish was a part of the RUINATION story? Personally, I think it's unfair that somebody like Poppy, who loves Demacia, is suddenly not there during the RUINATION. But also, who cares about Poppy? Let us know your answers in the comment section down below. Nonetheless, let's get back into the video. The RUINATION event has added so much to the game. Whether it's the amazing brand new skins, the super cool story that you can play in the home screen, or the small changes that's been seen around the map, the RUINATION event has been a total blast. But one of the most interesting portion of it has been the newest game mode. While it's not entirely tied to the RUINATION event, it was released alongside it. For those of you who haven't played it yet, it's called the Ultimate Spellbook, and it's the most fun I've had in League in the longest time. Essentially, you get to change out one of your summoner spells for another champion's ultimate. There's a different pool of ultimates that you can take every game so that you can really test out some crazy combos. Whether it's Fiddlesticks with Nocturne's ultimate or Samara with Olaf's, there are a ton of new combos to be seen every day. Honestly, it's been a breath of fresh air with these new game modes. Sure, we all love Earth, well, some of you do, I don't, and All for One, but it's been quite a while since we've actually seen a new event. And that reminds us, for all of you that enjoy Lillia, well, she's gonna be getting a small rework. Honestly, it's more of a readjustment to her skills. At the moment, Lillia's only seemed to be played because of her fast jungle clear and her ultimate dealing quite a bit of damage. The original concept for her playstyle was to kite in and out of fights with her high amounts of movement speed. While the changes will mostly consist of adding a new effect to her passive, this new effect will heal Lillia over the duration of her DOT. This will work on both monsters and champions. For her Q, it's been changed around so that her stacks essentially last longer, dealing slightly more damage and granting more movement speed when she builds ability power. As for her W, it's simply getting a 5% higher ability power scaling for some extra damage. Now her E is getting quite a big change. At the moment, Lillia seems to mindlessly toss out her ball to hopefully hit an enemy and ult them from far away. To remedy this, Riot is also adding 6 seconds to its cooldown, but in exchange, they're gonna make it slow a flat 40% rather than scaling up to 45%. Plus, it's getting a small damage boost as well. As for her ultimate, its ability power damage ratio is going up by 10%, but its sleep duration, initial slow, and slow buildup are all being nerfed by quite a bit. Overall, this will help Lillia be more of a kiting champion that is also able to constantly avoid committed fights and stay healthy. So, if you hate commitment, this champion's for you. While it does suck that she's not able to make as many plays with her ultimate, the most important part is that the potential is still there nonetheless. It's a small shift in her playstyle, but we think it'll help her fit an identity a bit more. By the way, if you want to join an amazing community of people like you that love lists, talk pieces, and other things like this, check out our Discord using the link found in the description. So, what are you waiting for? Join! Before we close out the video, to make sure that you're all informed for your next solo queue match, let's quickly do a patch rundown. If you've been keeping up with our updates, you'll know that Tahm Kench has been seeing a ton of success in the top lane. While it seems like he was struggling before, players have grasped how his new kit works and are effectively using it. So as far as we can tell, the new Tahm Kench rework has been fairly successful, although it is sad that he is not as great as a support anymore. As for some potential patch highlights, Akali got nerfed by just a bit for her ultimate. That being said, it's about a 60 damage reduction on her full combo. As for Darius, his win rate has been suffering a bit due to the Strikebreaker changes, so he got a damage buff to his passive and a cooldown reduction to his E. Now, if you were keeping up with the cool new Dr. Mundo rework, you'll know that he's been struggling a lot, especially in the jungle. Well, now his Q will refund all of his health costs if it hits a monster, and his E will now deal additional damage to monsters. Finally, Strikebreaker slow got readjusted from a 90% slow to a 40% slow for 3 seconds. Also, there are a few new visual effects updates for Zilean, Lucian, and Project Renekton. There are a ton more changes that we didn't go over, such as the new Irelia rework, Rek'Sai buffs, Shaco nerfs, and so forth. So be sure to check out the patch notes yourself or one of our videos before hopping into your next rank game. Anyway, that sums up our video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to join our ProGuides family at ProGuides.com. We offer exclusive giveaways and classes that you won't catch anywhere else. So stay tuned and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next video. My name has been Nathan Ning, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.